And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam, or when it pertains to the state, we always use the word getting some help from Aunt Alabama. And today we're right on the cusp of the primary elections. They're going to be in a couple of days. So what we wanted to do is round out this series, bringing in another candidate for Attorney General, Alice Martin from Florence, Alabama.
Good morning.
Up the road a piece.
A little bit.
a little piece.
Bit.
And it's so nice. You and I had the opportunity to meet in Elmore County at one of the rallies that were going on there. And you know, you're running for Attorney General. For our viewers to know, what does the job Attorney General really mean and do in the state of Alabama?
Your Attorney General has criminal and civil responsibilities as an enforcement agent. So on the civil side, we represent all the agencies of the state. So if you have the prison being sued, or you have Medicaid being sued, or the Department of Transportation by someone, an individual or a business, we represent them. We're their lawyers. And then from a criminal standpoint, once your district attorney receives a conviction in your local courthouse, we handle all the appellate work that happens before the Court of Criminal Appeals or the Alabama Supreme Court, also handling all the victim issues, all the hearings before the Board of Pardons and Parole. So that's one thing we do. And then there's some special units in the office. Of course, we can handle criminal cases, but the AG's handles about 1% maybe of all the criminal cases in the state. That's typically handled by your district attorney's offices. But we help if they have a complicated case or a case where they've needed to recuse and they need help. Some areas that people aren't as familiar with is that we have a Medicaid fraud unit.
So very wonderful.
Very good.
We try to fight fraud in that. And also if you have abuse of the elderly, oftentimes people will enter institutions, organizations, someone will have control of their money, and all of a sudden they've been taken advantage of. And so we handle those financial frauds that occur against the elderly. That's important. And then consumer fraud. I know people have read about the Volkswagen emission scandal where they altered a device. We represent Alabamians there, have a recovery against Volkswagen, and then give the money, the checks back out to the owners of those defective vehicles.
That's interesting.
So it's a wide assortment of things you do, but it has civil and criminal responsibilities.
And you use the word we a lot, and of course, obviously you have some experience in that department in our government.
Yes, I do, and sometimes I feel like
You're still there.
I'm still there, but yes, I served as the Chief Deputy Attorney General, which is the number 2. You're basically responsible for the day-to-day operation of the office from 2015 until deciding to leave the office in March of 2017 when then Luther Strange was moved to the Senate. I decided then I would run for it.
Right. Interesting.
We were going to ask you, as we always do, what do you feel makes you more qualified than other candidates that are running?
I have 37 years as a practicing lawyer.
Wow.
Both in civil and criminal, which makes me unique in that respect. I have served as a circuit court judge in Lauderdale County. I'm the only person running that's had that judicial experience. I have served as a federal prosecutor for Reagan, Bush 41, and Bush 43. So I think if you're going to be the chief law enforcement officer, you should have prosecuted cases yourself, and I've done that. And I served as the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama. So that was 60% of Alabama's population, 31 counties. I was the top federal law enforcement officer for 8 years, so it's very similar in job. Now, of course, I've been campaigning on a platform that I think Montgomery is a swamp that needs to be drained. And I'm the only candidate running that has experience in fighting corruption. I have over 140 federal corruption convictions, and then more recently worked on Mike Hubbard, so I also have state convictions. So I just have the experience to do what needs to be done, I think, to help restore trust and integrity in state government, which is so important to the taxpayers.
Absolutely.
Since this is a taxpayer segment.
That's right.
You know, we want to protect the dollars. That's an important role of the Attorney General, is protecting your tax dollars, because they send them to Montgomery, or they send them to their city or their county for the right things to be done to benefit the public and the programs that need it, not to line the pocket of people that have the power to cut deals.
That's right. And you know, you said something very interesting because of your experience on the federal level and different types of things. There's a lot of interface with things that happens between the job of the Attorney General in Alabama with the federal government, is there not?
Absolutely.
Yes.
There absolutely is. You know, when I was the U.S. Attorney, I then formed the North Alabama Public Corruption Task Force with Attorney General Bill Pryor.
Ah,
And I said, Bill, let's work together. Because just like drug trafficking doesn't stop at a county line or a state line, neither does federal
Right.
and state fraud.
everything.
It just happens. And so when you can form teams and collaborate with your federal and state law enforcement officers as well as local, you can have a tremendous impact.
For our viewers, because we're gonna have to close up,
Yes.
in the waning hours now, right now, if somebody wants more information on you, I'm sure there's a website
Yes.
and there's information, and hopefully they could talk to you personally.
Yes, AliceMartin.com.
Okay, that's simple.
Alice Martin 4
We'll put that-
AG.
Okay, for AG.
Yes, and I have a podcast, so there are 18 podcasts posted. You can learn a
Oh
lot
my
about me.
gosh, absolutely.
The more you know, the better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much. Best of luck. And remember, it's right around the corner. Do your homework. Find out all you can about the candidates. They're going to be representing you for a number of years, and we'll be right back right after this.